Hey folks, it's Laura with Rain Tree Nursery, and we get questions all the time about our Espalier trees. This is an example of an Espalier tree that I got from Rain Tree. I've let this grow for a season, and now it has nice, long, extended branches. And one of the questions that we regularly get is, how do I create a structure for my espalier? And let me tell you, there are as many different kinds of structure to make an espalier function as there are people who want to grow espalier. It's a very flexible form. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing with my tree here and let that be a guide for your imagination. I want to grow this particular tree in a pot. And so I've put it in a nice half whiskey barrel. That's probably 22 gallons of topsoil. And so it lifts the tree up a little bit. I wanted to put this between the supports of the roof. And so that's what I did. This is, I think, about an 8-foot spread, which is a really great spread for a tree like this. It's going to eventually touch both sides of the ends of the wires and probably need to be trimmed off a little bit. I've seen people do espaliers as short as 3 feet wide. I've seen people do each side 8 feet long. It just kind of depends on how vigorous the variety you're working with will get. So here we see it's time for us to start tying down the branches. And it's pretty simple to do that. I like to use this nice stretchy, flexible plastic tape. And this is not difficult. All you're doing is basically giving your tree a little bit of structure to work with. And this tape will stretch as the tree grows. That's it. And I'll do this probably in 2 or 3 different places along each of the branches. I want to make sure to go ahead and put this one down, all the way down, so that as it grows, it doesn't get in the habit of pushing up. All of this training is about getting the tree in a certain habit. If you've seen really old espaliers, you know that after a while, there we go, that's a little too short, so I'll pull it back. After a while, the tree just does this all by itself. You can remove the trellising and the tree will stay exactly where it's been trained to stay. So that's what I'm going to do just to train this wood for its first year. Now, I also know that I need to start cutting these back to develop the fruit spurs nice and low on the upside of the wood. But because we're in the rainy winter season and I know I do not have 2 days of clear weather, I'm going to wait and do that when I know I'm going to have 2 back-to-back days of clear weather. I don't want to run the risk of introducing any kind of fungal disease to this plant. You can see here too, here's an example on the trunk where the grafters grafted 2 different grafts to the trunk area and then left both of them. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to keep, so I let both of them grow out. I think after watching this for a season that I'm going to keep the upper one, even though it's a little thinner, not quite as vigorous as this lower one, but this lower one kind of goes out and then back. I don't like that form as much, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off too, remove that entire branch when I know I have dry weather. And here you have it. You can see all of the branches have been gently tied to the wires. And that's the first phase of the training. Now there will be quite a bit more that we will do with this tree. This is just the beginning of our relationship together. And we'll keep you posted with videos about how those next steps develop. Thanks for joining us. It's Laura with Rain Tree Nursery and our beautiful espalier.